what the masculine, the leader, right? A man being a leader in a
You
relationship.
think the man can take it back?
I'll tell you that this is what happens in most relationships, right? As my experience in coaching a lot of guys and seeing these things devolve into this is that what happens is this, is that everything starts off great, honky-dory, right? You're in the honeymoon phase. And then the man doesn't really understand how to love a woman. So it's stuff we talked about before, right? It's about validating her emotions. He thinks he's loving her, but he's not validating her emotions. He's not taking her out on dates anymore. It doesn't have to be a date, but that trying
romancing
to
her.
Right, the romancing part of it, right? So he's not doing those things. So she doesn't. And again, what is the number one problem? 99% of the time, guys, whenever a woman tells you whatever she's telling you, that is the problem. It's not the problem. She's wrong. Okay. It's that she doesn't feel
Don't
loved.
tell her she's wrong, though.
Yeah, don't tell her.
Then you're really gonna dig yourself in a hole.
And you can tell me if you disagree with this, but the problem is that she doesn't feel loved in that moment. And she doesn't even realize that that's what the problem is. Like she's not mad because you forgot the groceries.
She's trying to find something to like reconnect with you, and most of the time, guys further sever the connection because then they feel attacked and then they get defensive, and then that pushes her more away. And so then she feels more unloved. So it's like it is a complicated.
But whatever thing
situation.
she's saying this thing, but what she's really communicating is, I'm not in this moment, I'm not feeling loved, and I need to feel your love. Right? Now, women are bad a lot of times at expressing that because they'll come, but sometimes, a lot of times that comes across as nagging. Right, especially as she's gone without feeling love for a long time,
right?
And she doesn't know how to ask for it, ask for the help, ask for the or whatever it is, But she doesn't know how to
ask for the help.
But you
Nicole?
But you don't do that. But you know what I mean. But but in general, right? She doesn't know how to ask for that,
right?
And so the man responds in a way that makes her feel even more unloved. Right. And so when a woman doesn't feel loved, she feels pretty bitter. She's like, and that's where she's nagging the guy. That's where when they get into an argument, she's yelling at him. She's calling him names. She's doing all kinds of crazy stuff and saying all kinds of crazy stuff because out of desperation, she's like, I am trying to show you how upset I am. And so that's why I'm calling you these crazy names. So you can really, it's not because she wants to insult you or insult your manhood, but she'll stab you right in the heart, guys, right? Because she's trying to make you feel what she's feeling, which she doesn't even know how to express, is that it's a lack of love. So that is what degrades the relationship to the point where the honeymoon phase fades out. And so coming back full circle to, can one person fix this? Honestly, usually the man can. Because remember, again, it does take two people to make a relationship, but women are mostly responders and guys are initiators.
Right.
And so a woman is a reflection of the man that she's with, and a woman is going to respond or react to what the man is putting out. The vibe, the energy, the leadership of the relationship. He's going to lead the relationship one way or the other. Whether he thinks he's leading it or not, he's leading it, right? And so if a man suddenly turns around and says, hey, this ship is sailing in the wrong direction, and he doesn't say to her, hey, you need to change, you need to stop nagging me and do all this, but instead, if he starts validating her emotions, and starts showing her the love and recognizes in the moment when she's nagging him and he's like, just gives her a hug and just like, shows her, he knows what she can't express and starts doing that on his own without looking for anything in return, then he's going to turn her around. And if he doesn't, then he should probably leave the relationship and it's over. So it should be going in the direction of the honeymoon back into it, or it should be exiting. But the man truly is the one who can do. I'm not saying that a very aware woman couldn't turn things around by recognizing why she's nagging and doing those things and say, oh, actually, I'm not feeling loved, and maybe I can tell him that I'm not feeling loved. A very aware woman maybe watching this podcast could do that. But in general, a man has to realize this. And even if she does do that, if a man doesn't know how to do those things, it's still going to be, her needs are not going to be met.
Yeah. It's like a battle you can't win.
Right.
But I think it's important to note at the same time that you have been somebody that has tried to turn a relationship around before, and it's not always salvageable. So that's why I'm saying, like, you know, like sometimes
but however,
it needs to just be the end sort of thing.
But however, I didn't have the tools that I have now. I didn't understand women and relationship. But even if I did, what would have happened in that situation, I would have left.
Right.
Right. Because I would have realized
that's the knowledge you would have had.
That this is not the right, you know, but it doesn't, you know, but still, you can't really know that until you've done it.
Yeah.
Right? And
there's actually just the issue is I don't want people to think that they can fix everybody, because that gets you stuck in a lot of things. I feel like as women, we feel like fixers. And then from your perspective, men also can feel like fixers. And so it's very, though, important to, I feel like, understand what is like normal fixing and like dealing with things in a relationship versus like someone is very committed to their mindset and not going to change no matter what you do. And that is like a battle that you can't win type of thing that we were talking about. And so like, and especially from a woman's perspective, like you said, like it's very hard to convince a man of things as a woman.
It is. It actually is. It is.
Like, you know, it's they just they're their own people. I don't even know how to
I mean,
like,
it is because
you know,
the man is supposed to be leading, and whether he realizes it at a cognitive level, at an instinctual level, he knows. And so that's why.
But I'm saying, even if a woman is like aware and like, you know,
it's harder.
Knows
it's harder
what she's talking about.
For sure.
That doesn't mean that a man is going to believe her and do it or any of those things.
But the same thing, if I flipped it, if a man tells a woman, if he's like, look, you need to stop nagging me and you need to stop being this way.
Like, okay, like, I understand.
You know
but
what I mean? And he's like, I realize what you're doing. It's not going to, you know, it would have to happen.
It has to be how it's presented, right? Because like someone just being like, stop nagging me, that's just as bad as being like, go away.
But even presenting it, it's not a good idea. Because again, the focus, because you're right. I'm agreeing with you. You don't even realize it yet. I'll tell you why. Is because I'm saying no one should ever try to be a fixer. What I'm saying is that your goal, even as a man, even if you're in that situation, in the relationship with the woman that's nagging you and all these things, your goal should just be to show her love with no expectation of anything happening in return. Because you will be happier in the relationship just by yourself by doing that. Because then you'll know that you're doing what you're supposed to be doing, right? And it goes both ways. And then, however, if she doesn't respond to that, then you're finding something out about her that should indicate that she either doesn't have a very high desire for you or doesn't care very much about you as a human being, then you should leave the relationship. Or, you know, but you'll know that you've done. But the point should never be, I'm going to do these things and now that's going to cause this other person's behavior to change. Better than